Hi everyone, it's been a while since the last review, and today we are taking a look at not just one, but two development boards. They look slightly different on the outside, but in reality they are basically twin brothers. As usual, we'll open them up, see what the hardware we are dealing with, explore that ready-made firmware and projects already exist for this board, and I'll show you how I plan to use it. You're watching Hobby Support channel, my name is Arthur. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And let's get started. The main question is, what can these boards actually be used for? Short answer, almost anything. If you want to invent a new device, the first step is usually to prototype your idea on a development board like this. Instead of wiring together a bunch of separate modules, everything is already integrated and placed inside the solid enclosure. Your task is simply to write the firmware that makes use of the built-in modules and sensors. You can write code in different programming languages and development environments, for example Arduino IDE or Platform IO in Visual Studio Code. And if you don't want to write code from scratch, there's a ready-made firmware options for various tasks, as well as a smart home platform like ESP Home. On the top of that, I'll show you how to install the XiaoZhi AI assistant on this board, turning it into a terminal between you and neural network, with the ability to choose different large language models. Of course, building everything from individual components and wires isn't a bad thing at all. On the contrary, that's the path of the most dedicated DIY warriors. But devices like this make it much easier to get started in the world of microcontrollers. Alright, let's take them apart. These two blue devices have the same name, Waveshare ESP32-S3 Touch LCD 3.49. The difference in size and shape is due to the type of battery used. One version has a lithium 8650 cell mounted directly on the board in a plastic holder. The other uses a slimmer lithium polymer battery connected through a board connector. Both devices are easy to disassemble using a screwdriver and pilers. After removing the back cover, you need to disconnect the small speaker connector to fully detach it. Then unscrew the brass standoffs and carefully disconnect the display to remove the main board and take a closer look. The main chip is the ESP32-S3 R8, running at 240 MHz with 8 MB of PSRAM. It supports 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5 LE. There is a built-in antenna on the board, but if you resolder a 0 ohm resistor, you can switch to an external antenna via the IPX connector on the other side. There are also plenty of free GPIO pins available for connecting additional peripherals. External flash memory is 16 MB. It may sound small compared to a PC, but for devices like this, it's more than enough. You'll also find a real-time clock module, an ADC for processing signals from two microphones, and a DAC for audio playback. There is a gyroscope and accelerometer, 3 buttons, boot, reset and dedicated power button in the middle. A microSD card slot supports up to 32 GB, and of course there's a USB Type-C port. The display is a touch IPS panel with a resolution of 172 by 640 pixels. It uses a rather unusual display and touch controller, which makes porting popular firmware more challenging. However, it supports QSPI, meaning data can be transferred up to 4 times faster than standard SPI. Now we just need to figure out how to fully take advantage of that. There is also plenty of free space under the back cover, enough to fit additional modules like an NRF24 or a CC1101. Now, let's take a look at the stock firmware. When you press the power button, you enter the main screen displaying sensor data. Swiping to the right reveals a slider panel, clearly demonstrating support for the LVGL graphics library with its various widgets. If you hold the center button briefly, you enter microphone test mode, where you can record a few seconds of audio and immediately play it back.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
To install the AI assistant, you need to download an archive with example code and ready-made firmware from the manufacturer's official GitHub website. You'll also need the ESP32 flash download tool to upload the firmware. Here's the process. Launch the flash download tool. Select ESP32-S3 and development mode. check your COM ports. Then hold the boot button and connect the device. Release boot button and select the newly appeared COM port. Next, load the desired .binary file, in this case XiaoZhi AI assistant firmware. Set the memory address to 0x0. Check the box and press start. After flashing is complete, on the board press reset button. The XiaoZhi interface appears and you can connect to Wi-Fi and configure your voice assistant. The downloaded archive also includes Arduino IDE examples demonstrating how to work with individual modules and sensors on the board. I used the LVGL9 example as a base and modified it to solve my own task. Recently, I built this homemade generator for my bicycle, so that during indoor training sessions I can use pizza power to charge my home devices. Inside this wheel there is 3 Hall sensors. For one full rotation, one of them generates 30 interrupts. The wheel circumference is 50 centimeters. With this data, I can calculate both speed and travel distance. The Hall sensors connected to a second tiny ESP32-S3, which transmits data via ESP-NOW protocol to this main blue controller. The device displays my current speed and total distance in real time, without any wires attached. It works very smoothly. If I accelerate, the speed increases dynamically on the display. With a battery like this, I can run for a quite long time. It's a very convenient setup for me. And that's just one example of how this board can be used. You can add multiple screens, swipe navigation and many more features. On the manufacturer's website, there is also projects showing the device used as a cryptocurrency price monitor, a clock displaying constantly uploaded satellite images from a Chinese geostationary weather satellite, and even a GPS navigator. I hope more open source projects for this board will appear. If I found something interesting, I'll share it in shorts, so don't forget to subscribe. Also, I'll leave link to my tribute in the description, if you'd like to support the channel. That's it for today, see you soon in the next video.